Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be talking about the new patch that came out for Battlefield Hardline, fixing a lot of little bugs and doing a lot of balance changes. Now there's a lot of weapon balance changes, I'll be getting into that in a second. There's also been some other nice updates done to the game. One of them is better battle packs. Basically you've got your bronze, your silver, your gold battle packs, but they didn't always give you very good rewards. Well, that's been completely changed now, and you should be guaranteed a certain number of good items every time you unlock a certain type of battle pack. So you're going to be getting much better rewards, camos, gun attachments, all that kind of stuff, and it's going to be much more worthwhile to actually get these battle packs. Some of the important gameplay changes are less screen shake when bullets land close to your character, and also trunk RPGs should have limited your RPG count to 1 now. They've also had their splash radius reduced. This certainly doesn't mean RPGs are bad, but it should sort of limit the amount of RPG spam that's currently going on in the game. As far as it affecting whether or not Hotwire is still going to be a bit of a RPG game mode, that is yet to be seen. I imagine it's still going to be a little bit RPG intensive. And before we get into the weapon balance changes, I want to talk about the Team Deathmatch spawn update. Now this is one of the changes that I was most looking forward to in this upcoming patch. That was basically fixing the spawn situation in TDM. It was very chaotic, people were spawning all over the place. You would spawn in, get shot in the back. There was basically no rhyme or reason to the strategy in TDM, and it became very, very frustrating. Well, this has been changed, however, they basically only increase the range that you have to be from somebody before they can spawn in a spawn location. This range has been increased a little bit, but it's really not that significant of an update. In fact, I would call this a very, very lazy update. I was hoping that they might try and redesign the spawn algorithm to be something more similar to Battlefield 3, where it was a little bit more polarized. People would be spawning on one side of the map versus the other side of the map, and you wouldn't be spawning in the line of sight of enemies. But as you can see from these clips here, I'm spawning and either being able to shoot enemies immediately or being shot at by enemies immediately. So it's basically the same kind of chaos, just maybe a little bit less awful. I wouldn't say it's good by any means, and this is really, really disappointing on Visceral's part. If this is the kind of effort we can expect from future patches, it's pretty disappointing because it means TDM's never really going to be a decent game mode. Now let's take a look at one of the most game-changing aspects of this latest patch, and that is the weapon balance tweaks that they've added to the game. First thing I want to talk about is the nerf to the K10. I used it quite a bit. The K10 is not a bad gun now, but its effectiveness at range has been significantly reduced, and this is a great way to put the K10 in its place. It's still incredibly good in very close quarter combat. It's a great hipfire weapon. It can kill people so freaking fast. It's still got that 1200 RPM. It just does 33 damage maximum now, so you're going to need 4 shots to kill somebody with full health. This is not a huge downgrade to the weapon overall. The major downgrade is basically the damage drop off down to 8 damage, and that ends a little bit sooner than it did before. So basically your range has just been nerfed significantly, and this overall is a very, very good change. It means that those people who just ran the K10 all day for every single situation are now going to have to use it a little bit more situationally. Are you still going to get killed by the K10 in Hardline? Yeah, probably a lot, but when you see somebody running this weapon at medium range or long range, it means that they are not really that big of a threat to you anymore. In addition to that, the FMG9 has become a much bigger player in the PDW world. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more people using that weapon. It's had its maximum damage increase from 21 to 25, so you can now 4-shot kill somebody in close quarters with that weapon, and I'll be doing a video exclusively on the FMG9 tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the DMRs real quick. We've got the Sega 308 and the PTR 91, both for the criminal side. These guns had significantly higher vertical recoil than the counterparts for the cops team, so they just really weren't balanced that well. The vertical recoil has been reduced significantly, and now we actually have some pretty darn good competitors. I think I like the PTR 91 the best. It's actually a really good competitor now compared to the other rifles. In addition to that, we've also reduced the vertical recoil for the HK51 and HCAR battle rifles, one for each of the factions. These guns basically just couldn't compete with the other battle rifles out there because their recoil was too intense, thus making them just not that useful. They are now much more useful weapons, and you'll see it from a lot of my HCAR clips that I'm able to kill a lot more opponents. The HCAR is an interesting weapon, slow firing but a large magazine, so you can potentially take out a lot of targets. Now, despite the operating operator virtually remaining untouched from this patch, the one weapon that did get tweaked is the beginning gun, the RO933. This is basically that carbine that everybody gets rid of as soon as they possibly can because it only does 20 damage maximum. Well, they've increased the rate of fire from 800 to 850, making it slightly more usable. It's a fun little carbine, but it's just not going to compete against the assault rifles. And I think this is one of the more disappointing aspects of the weapon balance patch to me, is the fact that the assault rifles in this game are so good. Either you got to bring the other weapons up to meet their damage potential, or you got to bring them down a little or make them balance out a bit better. The assault rifles are so much better than the carbines available to the assault class, or the operator class rather, that there really isn't any point using the carbines. And I would love it if they tried to balance the game so that there was a point to use a carbine over an assault rifle. And so far they really haven't made any efforts, and I think that's one of the most disappointing aspects of this patch, is that we waited a while to get it and they just haven't really addressed some of the more obvious aspects of weapon balance. That being said, they have actually made the Enforcer a much more powerful force to be reckoned with. All of the battle rifles now do a minimum damage of 25. This means you can 4-shot kill somebody at whatever range you engage them with, and you better be watching out for some of those more powerful battle rifles like the SCAR and the SA-58. These things are going to be powerhouses, and you're going to be taken out very quickly by these weapons. You're not going to really know what hit you right off the bat. Now oddly, the AKM did get a small nerf. At extreme ranges, your minimum damage is going to go down to 24 instead of the 25 that it used to be, meaning you're going to need one extra bullet to kill your opponent at those further ranges. I find it funny that this is the one assault rifle that was balanced, considering that I consider the M16A3 and the M416 to be two of the more powerful assault rifles, and if you're going to nerf anything, take a look at those guns first. Now again, I have to say how odd it is that this patch just overlooks so many weapons that really could have used some buffs. I mean, if you were going to go down the list of guns in this game, I would say that the Uzi without question needs a buff as one of the worst weapons in the game. Then you have the M45, again needs a buff. These are PDWs. The UMP45, not the worst gun in the game, but certainly not even close to the best. It could use a little bit of a buff to make it more competitive. Then we got the G36C, we have the CAR 556, the SG 553, all carbines that just really don't do much. They could either use a buff to be more competitive against assault rifles, or have the assault rifles brought down to be more within their damage model. The L85A2, an assault rifle, but just doesn't shoot fast enough, doesn't do enough damage. However you take it, it's just not going to compete against the current assault rifles offered in the game, so it's kind of hard to see where some of these weapons stand and why the devs just ignored them completely. So when trying to summarize this first patch, I would say the most important change is the fact that the K10 got nerfed. This is going to change up the gameplay probably the most compared to any of the other changes. Then probably the next significant thing is battle packs just being better, more useful. You'll actually get good stuff from golden battle packs. And the rest of it is kind of a wash. The TDM update really didn't fix much, and the other weapon balancing in the game just didn't do too much overall. I think the battle rifles is probably the next most significant update. If you like battle rifles before, you'll like them a lot more now. In all honesty, this is a pretty lackluster patch. The TDM update is just downright lazy, and I hope we can expect more from Visceral down the road. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off.